Hello, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mr. Craven. All right, guys, so I have a new Magicka Templar build for PvP. So somebody had asked me, they were struggling to enjoy PvP in Elder Scrolls with their Magicka Templar, and it was kind of like, okay, I wanted to come out with a new build for, me personally as well, to enjoy Magicka Templar, because what I find most of the time, the problem of it is with Magicka Templar, you're either going to set up for damage or you're going to set up heals, or you're going to kind of have a little wishy-washy healing, and to sacrifice damage, so on and so forth. So it's kind of like an exchange. It's hard to find that happy medium. So with this build, I kind of went around the whole aspect of utility plus dealing a significant amount of damage. So I'm healing and I'm able to damage. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce you guys to my Magicka Templar build, the Soul Deflector. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the character sheet. Now this is Resto Staff side. You're going to go ahead and see my max Magicka is at 35,237. Magic recovery is at 1,651. Maximum health is 24,116. And max stam is at 10,531. Also, you're going to see my spell crit on the staff side is 43%. Now this is very, very important, guys, to pay attention at the bottom. I am a Breton and I am a vampire, okay? But you'll notice my spell resistance is at a nice 20,438. Physical resistance is at 1635. Can't be helped, but I'm not done, so be patient. You're going to see to the left, all my attribute points are spent into the Magicka, right? And then below, you're going to see I'm using the Mage Mundus. Typically, it's questionable, but I'll explain why I'm using it in this build. Also, I'm going to be using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. No surprise. All right, so on dual wield side, we're going to see a little bit of a change here. So we're going to see max Magicka boost up to 37,363. Recovery stays the same. Health is still at 24,000. And you're going to see my spell crit now is at 53%. And the resistance is still the same. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the sets, shall we? We're going to be using Julianos. And that's right, the Soul Shine set, along with Lord Wardens. Let's go down piece by piece. All right, so Restoration Staff of Julianos, Nirnholm, increase. No surprise here, guys. It's going to go ahead and increase my spell and weapon damage by 15%. Julianos, good static set. This is my static set. It's going to be constant at all times. It's going to increase my healing, done, and that's why I want it on the Resto Staff. Okay, Sword of Julianos, Nirnholm. This has Crusher just for a little bit extra penetrating value, but if you want to go with the increase, you can, but I have Crushers on this side. Just increase. This one has the Life Drain, Magicka damage, restores health. With Sharpen. Sharpen's ideal. Okay, so I will need that a little extra penetration. So this is all ideal. Lord Warden's Dust, guys. Transmuted, infused, light. So we're running a 5-1-1. 5 light, 1 medium, 1 health. You want 6% to the Undaunted bonus passive with this build. So you're going to take 1 medium piece. So light, infused, ideal. Lord Wardens, keep in mind, I'm going to get resistance. That's what's bumping up my resistance a little bit more in that physical. I need it. But whenever I take damage, I'm going to have a 50% chance to summon a Shadow Orb for 10 seconds. That increases physical and spell resistance to me and my allies within 8 meters by 3,735. This has a lot of survivability, not just for me. It applies to my party. That makes it a great utility proc set in PvP, especially against those bombers when they start coming in. You throw this down, throw the Remembrance, boom, nobody's going to die. Really nice. Okay, Curse of Soul Shine. Infuse, max Magicka, ideal. let's go into why I'm going to be using this set. Okay, so this is going to go ahead and be applied on the dual wield side, not on the staff side. It doesn't need to be static. It just needs to be static on dual wield. Why am I using it? Simple. Max Magicka, spell crit, spell damage, adds 434 spell damage to my cast time and channeled abilities. Keep that in mind with this build. This is not your conventional Templar build. This is more range, heal, support, survivability, and you're going to love it, I promise you. So keep that in mind. 434 spell damage to cast time or channeled abilities. Lord Warden's Dusk Arms, keep in mind, Impen. This is Glyph Stamina currently. I will be changing this to Magicka, but medium is still ideal. Okay, Sash of Julianus, Impen, Max Magicka, ideal. Gloves of Julianus, Impen, Max Magicka, ideal. Breachers of Julianus, Infuse, Max Magicka, ideal. Very important with this build to capitalize Max Magicka as much as possible, because we're going to be using Radiant Oppression. That's going to scale Max Magicka. The more Magicka you have, the more it's going to hit harder. Okay, Shoes of Julianus, Impen, Max Magicka. Okay, we're going to be using Necklace of Soul Shine, spell damage. Ring of Soul Shine, recovery. Ring of Soul Shine, recovery. They all have healthy glyphs on them. If you can find Arcane, I can't find Arcane currently. Try to get some Arcane, but healthy is pretty good because that extra life comes in handy. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the skills, shall we? Okay, so let's start off with the Restoration Staff Bar. We're going to be, now, disclaimer, I still need to get some abilities morphed, but I'm going to tell you what you're going to be grabbing here. Okay, Healing Ward, no surprise. Applies to me or an ally, heals, shields. Great, perfect, love it. Okay, Ritual of Retribution. This is going to be our cleanse, our healing, and damaging effect, an AoE effect. So they're going to try to get in close. That's fine. It's going to deal a little bit of damage, but keep, because it's going to go ahead 1,551 magic damage every 2 seconds for 12 seconds. Not a lot of damage. I'm not going to lie to you, but it has the Purify synergy. This is a purification. You need to have this applied for your party members. Just comes in handy. Nice AoE effect. I find it also resourceful when Nightblades come in. They try to sneak up. They try to cloak out. As long as they're in the circle, that damage tick, it pulls them out. So really like that effect. Sun Shield. Okay, this is going to be morphed to Blazing Shield. Why? Because it's going to go ahead and shield me 15% of my max health. It's going to scale up higher when I get that morph. It's very important with this build because keep in mind that's why I have a little extra health. I want a little bit of tankiness in the light armor. So that's what I've opted to do. So scale up the health a little bit, get that Blazing Shield, get a little bit more survivability, get a nice AoE effect if they go ahead and they all try to pound on me. The first thing they'll want to do, take the healer out. It's always the rule of thumb. If they take the healer, they're going to fall. So you need either to be a heavy armor wearer, which you're going to lose the penetrating value in those passives, also in the light armor, or you can bump up the stats, reverse it on the flip side, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of survivability as a light armor wearer. Hence why you're also going to use the Lord Wardens. Comes in handy. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So also, we're going to be using, no doubt, Breath of Life. This is our, instant spam heal. Boom, boom, boom. So we have 2 heals going off with this. Also, Mistform. This will be getting morphed so we can get the Major Expedition. Templars are really slow. It comes in handy for movement and to get you out of those oh shit moments. So Mistform, definitely, get the one with the Major Expedition. Remembrance. When everything gets crazy, what are we going to do? We're going to pop the Remembrance. This is going to also give us the Major Protection, reducing damage I take by 30% for 10 seconds. Also, keep in mind to get that a nice immunity to disabling effects. All right, back bar, primary damage bar. Okay, so we're going to use Purifying Light. Now, keep in mind this can be cleansed, but against any stam users other than Templar or Warden, if they don't have Blue Betty, nobody's going to be able to cleanse this. We're going to use this. Why? Because it's going to copy the damage, right? So we apply it. It's going to deal 4,132 magic damage and copy the damage by 20%. Max cap is 22,417. Also, it's going to leave a little pool of healing on the target, so it comes in handy. So we have another healing effect. Dark Flare. Keep in mind we're using Soul Shine set. This is going to be a cast, so it's going to scale up with the set. So it's going to go ahead, conjure a ball of solar energy, heave at an enemy, dealing 1,000 or 15,466. Now I will proc my potion. You're going to be very dependent on your potions with this build. I'm not going to lie to you, so you can get that major sorcery. All right, I'm not going to lie, but this will give you the empower buff, so that's a plus. You're going to want to go ahead and keep the 2 Adric spears on each side. So we're going to use the Aurora Javelin, Y, CC effect, and then keep in mind we got 2 different bonuses here we're going to be applied to. All right, so we can reduce the amount of damage we can block from melee attacks. Comes in handy when we need to block. And also keep in mind, we have that Burning Light passive, which is going to deal 4,000. It has a chance of dealing 4,412 damage by 25%. Can happen every 0.5 seconds. That's why you can want to use the Aurora Javelin. It's a range. You want to keep in the range. You want to keep in the back. As long as you keep in the back, you can fire between the heels. Go ahead, hit the Dark Flare. All of a sudden, you get that nice empower buff. Hit them with the Purifying Light. Go ahead, hit them with the Dark Flare, and then boom, you can use the Aurora Javelin. Boom, boom, boom. But that's not the bread and butter of this build. The bread and butter of this build, and I'll get into the Radiant Impression, is the Shattered Soul. Okay, this is why I'm using the Soul Shine set. Why? It's going to deal 46,000, right? Well, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and get that little buff. Let's go back in. And now it's dealing 50,000 Magicka damage over 2.5 seconds, also reducing the movement speed by 70%. And if that's not enough, right, also enemies affected by this ability are revealed for 2 seconds and may not enter stealth or invisibility if the target is killed. Now this is what's great on a Zerg. If the target's killed, they're going to explode, dealing 14,287 magic damage to also nearby enemies. Great setup. We got the Soul Shine, we got survivability, we got damage. But if they do survive this onslaught, right? So say you go ahead, you hit the Purifying Light. You want to make sure Purifying Light's up before you hit the Shattered Soul. It's going to copy damage, right? So we want to go ahead, apply that effect. Boom, apply it. Hit the Shattered Soul. If they live, then guess what? We have the Radiant Impression for our finisher, right? So keep in mind, it deals 20% more damage in proportion to what? Max Magicka, and that's why you're going to use the Mage Mundus. All right, there it is, pretty much said and done. But if that's not enough, let's go over to the champion points real quick. Okay, starting into the tower, Warlord, we're going to want to break free really quick. 0.22. We're going to be dealing light and heavy attacks as we're weaving. They will try to drain us. We want to capitalize with the Siphoner to go ahead and reduce their recovery by 12.8. Tenacity 707, Arcanist 14%. Healthy, we are a vampire. We're going to offset that health recovery a little bit. It's going to be low no matter what, but I go 11.10. Nothing into the shadow. Now if you wanted to go ahead and drop healthy altogether, I would tell you, since you're using Dark Flare, to go with the Befau to also reduce that healing reduction, because that major defile is going to be applied by the Dark Flare. Nice boost too. That's why this is called the Soul Deflector. We're going to go ahead, take, and we're given. So give and take. Okay, coming over to the Apprentice. Healing, 909. It's not going to be really high because we're also going to be dealing damage, but it's enough to keep our party members alive. Elemental Expert, 1208. Spell Erosion, Penetration's a must. But keep in mind, Light Armor passive. We got 5 light. We're going to get that bonus of 4,884. We also have the Sharpened Sword. We're going to apply the Spell Erosion. That's going to give us around the 10k pen. That's what we want to do. Ideal. Staff Expert, 606. Master at Arms, 1510. And Thermaturge, 1510. Split the difference because remember, our channels will scale off Thermaturge, but our directs will go ahead and scale Master at Arms. Okay, coming over, very, very, very important tree with this build. Ironclad, 15.10. Resistance, 63. This is big, big, big. Keep in mind, Templars don't have a lot of physical resistance. Put 51 points in light armor. You will thank me for it, because melee DPS will be on top of your ass. I guarantee it. Hardy, 10.15. We are vampire, but keep in mind we have 20k of spell resistance. That allows us to put a big fat zip in the Elemental Defender. I tested it today, went over it, and guess what? Don't need it. Got so much spell pen. Don't need any points in here. It was just better off to put it into the light armor focus against those melee bastards who want to go ahead and wrecking blow spam my ass. Coming back over, Bastion, we're going to be using 2 shield effects. Not a lot. We don't want to go ahead and focus too much, but we want to bump this up a little bit. We're going to go 6.1, 6.11. Quick recovery is at 6.17, and that is how the champion points are allocated. I'm telling you guys, love this build. If you don't want to play ranged and you don't want to heal, this is not going to be a build for you. But if you like to heal, and also if you like to go ahead and deal that range damage, by all means, this is a blast of a build. I get to, you know, be put in multiple situations. It worked out really well on the test. I got to get a couple of morphs, but I had a blast with it tonight. Just playing around, spending a lot of gold, just configuring things, testing it, putting myself in some different scenarios. Loved the build. Loved it. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. I want to thank everybody for watching today, and once again and always, have a nice day.